So as the war in Gaza expands, the U.S. is responding to attacks on U.S. forces in the region. The Navy shooting down 17 drones and missiles over the Red Sea launched from Iran-backed rebels. Joining me now is a man who knows the dangers of the sea better than anyone, former USS Cole Commander Kirk Lippold. First, thank you for your service, as always. Appreciate it. These ships patrolling the seas, it's a coalition of 9 countries. Is that enough to cover, well, I guess first let's start with 17 missiles. Were they testing the system of that coalition?
I think what you're actually seeing is through the Houthi rebels, which is an Iranian proxy group, Iran is learning with every shot what we are doing to defend not only our Navy ships and the ships in the coalition, but also these merchant vessels as well. Every time they do that, they learn more about what tactics, techniques, and procedures could be used that in the event the conflict were to expand, how would they react in shutting down the Strait of Hormuz to affect the world's oil supply?
So Maersk, a shipping company, as well as a French company, are now looking to bring their ships back through the Red Sea. It looks on a map like a small piece of water, but it's actually very big. Can these 9 countries spread out ships to handle all of the area of that?
First and foremost, they shouldn't have to be over there spreading out to cover anything to begin with. We are not solving the problem. We are going after the symptom instead. We are in a reactive mode. And instead, we should have, number one, we should be targeting the Houthis and eliminating their ability to project any kind of missiles or threats into the Strait of the Red Sea, the Strait of Bab el-Mandeb, and the Gulf of Aden. Then we need to be looking at what Iran isn't doing itself.
So, yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So this is reactive. That we're looking basically a shield as the missiles come in. Why not strike? We must know where they come from, where the drones are launched from.
Oh, we do. And we are gaining intelligence to put together a good strike package. I think we already have that. Why the Biden administration is hesitating is beyond me. When you look at it, we are not only reacting, but we are only doing proportional. Right now, deterrence has failed for the United States and every country that is involved with this coalition. Many of them purposely chose not to put their ships or forces under any kind of U.S. control, and that in and of itself means the coalition is failing from the beginning because they're serving their own national interests first instead of the broader goal of protecting all those ships going through there, whether they are Maersk or MSC or others.
That's very interesting. So I want to ask you about the missiles coming in. Should one of those missiles hit a container ship or hit a U.S. military ship, could it bring them down?
There is quite a possibility, depending on how well the crew is trained with damage control and the ability to respond. Again, we don't want to get to that point. Being in a reactive mode is also dangerous. While none of our ships at sea have been hit, we have to remember, in the broader part of the conflict, we are seeing, in fact, that these groups are injuring U.S. service personnel, including one critically in Iraq. And at the end of the day, the last thing that the President and Secretary of Defense Austin should want is a photo op at Dover Air Force Base welcoming back flag-draped caskets. We can't afford that as a nation, and at some point, we must begin to be proactive and start holding Iran accountable for these malign activities throughout the Middle East.
So the Houthis have been attacking for weeks. Was this Operation Prosperity Guardian a little bit late?
It absolutely was. When the first shots went off, we should have immediately figured out a way to strike back and tell them no. If you want to engage in these types of activities and endanger and give Iran the opportunity to learn what we call those TTPs, we should have shut it off immediately. The fact that we didn't either indicates we didn't have the forces and intelligence available to put together a strike package, or worse, we had it and have chose not to do anything about it.
The type of weapons they're using, does that concern you? A ballistic missile, it seems that's an increase, an escalation in itself.
It is, but again, a ballistic missile is not going to have the kind of accuracy that they would if they were actually shooting shore-based anti-ship missiles that had a seeker on it that would be able to specifically target a ship when it picked it up on its own internal radar, for example. But the fact that they are shooting, if one of those ballistic missiles were to hit a ship or a U.S. Navy ship, then unfortunately, yeah, you would probably lose that ship.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you, Commander. I appreciate it. Thank you for your insight, your help. This is something that's not going to go away.
No, fun, truly not. Thank you.